you want to make a 4 double crochet cluster while working a granny triangle. These are pretty cool, and it will increase the size, the overall size of your triangle. Just make it a little bit more meaty than what the 3 double crochet clusters offer. And so here you can see that I've made one in Virginia Tech colors. And each of these clusters have 4 double crochets instead of 3. This will change your counts in the points. Instead of a 3 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 3 double crochet cluster, we're going to have 4 double crochets and a chain 3 for the points and another 4 double crochet cluster to create each of these points. Let's get started. So again, you can begin with a slip knot on your hook and a chain of 5, slip stitch to the first stitch to create a ring to be able to crochet all of your first round stitches into, or you can begin with a magic ring and a chain 2, which counts as your first double crochet. And then I'm going to go ahead and proceed and work 3 more double crochets into the ring. That's 2 and 3. And then I'm going to chain 3 and work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Another chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to repeat that one more time. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to tighten my magic ring just a little bit. Okay, so I need to chain 3. Then I'm going to slip stitch right over here into the top of the first real double crochet. So just like the 3 double crochet granny triangle, skip this initial chain 2, insert the hook under the head of the next real double crochet, and work a slip stitch to join the round. And that will give you your 3 points and your 3 sides to begin this triangle. All right, so we're going to work in the same color. We're not going to change colors. I think we've been over that quite a bit, so you know how to do that now. So I need to relocate my yarn over here to this next chain 3 space so I can begin the new round. To do that, I'm going to slip stitch in the next double, slip stitch in the next double, and then slip stitch into the chain 3 space. Now I'm at the next point and I can begin my next round. So I begin the next round with a chain 2 and 3 double crochets next to it. You can kind of scoot over your clusters if you need to. If you feel like you're running out of room, just give it a little tug over like that. It will all fit. Okay, so there are my first 4 DC granny cluster. To create the point, I want to chain 3. And then I'm going to work 4 more double crochet for the next cluster in the same chain 3 point space. Okay, so I have a side to jump over right here. So on this particular one, I am only going to chain 1. I know that sounds funny, and you're like, how is one stitch going to get me over this entire this group of 4 double crochets to the next space point? That is because we're putting an extra stitch in the actual point. Instead of 3 doubles, we're putting 4. So that takes the place of one of the chains that we would normally crochet to get us over that granny cluster. Okay, so I have chained 1. Now I'm immediately going to jump into the next chain 3 space, and I'm going to work 4 doubles. Chain 3 and 4 doubles, all in this same chain 3 space. My yarn is sticking on something. There we go. So there's my next point completed. I have worked 4 doubles, chain 3, 4 doubles. And you can see just with this chain 1 on the side, it's not pulling and it's not puckering. So it will work out with this count. Now this is my own method, my own pattern that I have come up with to make this work. If you find that it's not working for you, then I would suggest trying a different hook size. Play with it, because your tension could be so different from mine that it could be you want to put 2 chains in the middle of your clusters, or maybe you want to put 2 here and 2 there. I don't know. Just play with it and see what your tension is, and that is a really good exercise, because once you can figure out if you crochet too tightly or too loosely, or whatever it is that you do that's natural to you, then other patterns will become so much easier. You won't be wondering at the end of a pattern whether or not, you did something incorrectly. You may not have. It could have just been your tension that was involved with making something. And so you know to loosen your tension if you need to, or tighten it. But recognizing your own tension is very important for beautiful outcomes of crochet work. All right, so I made another corner, 4 doubles, chain 3, 4 doubles. I need to jump this side here by chaining 1. And now I'm going to slip stitch into the first real double right there. And now we have a 2 round, 4 double crochet cluster granny triangle. That's a mouthful. All right, so let's do one more round. How do I relocate my yarn to this point? Very easily. All I'm going to do is slip stitch into that double crochet there, that double crochet there, and then into the chain 3 corner itself. Now my yarn is at the top, and I'm ready to begin my next round. So let's go ahead and do one more round together. So chain 2, work 3 double crochets right next to it for your first 4DC cluster. And we're going to create the point by chaining 3 and work another 4DC cluster right into that same chain 3 space, like so. Now to jump this 4DC cluster, but in the previous round, we will chain 1. That brings us to a side space of a chain 1 where we will work 4 double crochets. And if we worked another round, we'd end up with 2 chain 1 spaces on each side that we would have to work a 4DC cluster into. Okay, so now we need to jump this cluster, chain 1. That brings us back to the next point where we will work 4 double crochets. chain 3, and 4 more double crochets to complete this next point. And you see what we have so far. We began at the bottom right here. 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4. Now we're back on a side, so we need to chain 1. And I'm just counting out the stitch count as we went across is all I'm doing. So chain 1. We have a side to crochet into, so we're going to work 4 double crochets right into this side, space. We have this cluster to jump to reach the next point, so chain 1, and then crochet 4 double crochets right into that chain 3 point space. If I seem to be moving too fast, just stop the video, go back or rewind. You can even play it in slow-mo if you need to. So to create my point, I will chain 3 and work 4 more double crochets right into that same chain 3 point space. Okay, now we have one more side to finish, so we need to jump this side cluster by chaining 1. Now we're going to work 4 double crochets into the final side space. And don't forget, we have one more chain 1 to do because we still have to jump this cluster here. So chain 1. Now slip stitch to the top of the first real double just past your chain 2 starting chain. And we can bind off however you like to finish off your work by pulling the yarn tail through. And they will still look a little wonky until you actually block them, and they'll turn out nice and crisp once you block them. So they look like this one here, triangle here, and then we have some solids that I did here, like so. So that is how you work a 4 DC granny triangle.